All right, this is Dan Meehan for Fight News Australia, and today we have Arlene Blencowe, who takes on Pam Sorensen at Bellator 271 this Saturday Australian time. Arlene, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for stopping by.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
No worries, anytime. So a lot of people probably already know this, but I always like to ask when I interview someone for the first time, if you could just tell us a little bit about your background and how you found your way to MMA.
Yeah, I started off as an amateur boxer with the ambition to make the 2012 London Olympic team. I ended up turning professional in 2012 instead when I missed out on making the team. In 2013, I won two boxing world titles, the WIBA and WBF lightweight and welterweight world titles. That same year, I had my MMA debut, and in 2014, so the following year, I actually became the first Australian female to be signed to Bellator. And yeah, the story goes from there. I've been with them ever since, and yeah, I'm now the #1 ranked female featherweight for the Bellator division.
Right. Was MMA always a goal for you, or is that did you kind of just fall into it after starting out in boxing?
I definitely fell into it, and yeah, honestly, I wasn't even taking it seriously until I sort of got signed for Bellator and was on the plane over here to America and was like, oh, this is pretty big. When I signed the contract, I was getting paid a lot more money than I'd ever been paid with boxing, and I was like, I should probably give this a real good hard go. And yeah, to be honest, it was probably I was 3 or 4 fights into my Bellator career before I actually really started taking the whole wrestling and jiu-jitsu side of MMA seriously. I realized that I couldn't just rely on being a heavy-handed boxer. The girls over here are very well rounded, and yeah, the last few years have definitely been a progression, and more so the last 12 months have been a big progression in my skill set.
Yeah, and as you mentioned there, you've also been a staple of the Bellator roster for some time now. So, what's it actually like to work for Bellator, and sort of how did it feel when you got that call?
Yeah, well, I mean, being the first female signed to Bellator was a pretty cool thing, and I've got a handful of records now that I hold within the promotion. I'm actually the longest signed female in both weight divisions, so like I'm the veteran, even though I still feel like I'm like relatively new to MMA. Yeah, like I am a pioneer, and I've had the most featherweight appearances in the division, the most stoppages, the fastest stoppage win. But yeah, no, I'm a veteran, so I come in here to these fights now as the #1 ranked fighter, and yeah, I hold my head high, and I own that. I've worked hard over the years, and yeah, I'm at that stage of my career now where I work twice as hard as I did before, because I'm not about to let anybody come in and take my years of hard work away from me, and I'm striving for that next step, which is obviously the championship again. And yeah, hopefully after this win, that's enough for me to get another shot at the title and fight Cris again.
Yep, and yeah, obviously, yeah, you fought Cyborg once before in October last year, and the result obviously didn't go your way. But what was it actually like to share the cage with her?
Well, you know what? The level of competition obviously makes you step up, and it was definitely an eye opener for me, in a sense of I knew that after that fight I needed to level up with things and really take my training to the next level, which has led me now to be over here and train at JacksonWink in Albuquerque, and I took my next fight camp over there, and I've actually been here since May this year, unintentionally because of COVID travel restrictions, but I've spent the last 6 months here, and I literally just finished a training session then with the coaches. I had Coach Jackson, Coach Gibson, and Tusa, the three of them sitting around. We were talking about it, and Greg said that he can't believe the amount that I've grown in this last 6 months. Like the progression in me and the fighter is just completely different. So it's a testament to the training, the effort I've put in, the coaching that I've been given, and the training partners that I get to train with every day. So yeah, obviously stepping inside the cage with Cris, like I said, it made me ask a lot of questions, and I feel like I've answered them correctly. So a win on Friday night will definitely put me back, hopefully, into another shot with her. And I think taking the next fight camp and having it at JacksonWink should be enough to finally bring that gold back to Australia.
Yep, I did read recently that you'd sort of gotten yourself stuck over there. Do you have the option now to return to Australia, or are you still trying to sort through all of that?
I am on that plane on Saturday, the day after my fight. I'm back home. I'm well and truly ready to come home. Like, I've appreciated these 6 months. Like I said, it was unintended, but for my career and obviously with everything that was happening in Australia, the gyms closed down and all the COVID restrictions. In hindsight, it was actually better for me because instead of just having to be in lockdown with everybody else, I've been able to be over here and continue with my training and growth and everything. So it's worked out for the best for me, but I'm definitely ready to come home and spend time with my family and see my friends and be back in Australia. Yeah.
Absolutely, and a lot's been sort of said and written about the training environment at JacksonWink and sort of the changes that have happened over there. So, what's it actually like on the mats there?
Well, for me, I've actually been waiting for like someone to dig deeper into questions and ask me questions about things at JacksonWink. But for me personally, like I've gone there with the mindset that I want to train hard. There's coaches there with years and years of worth of experience. I've got someone like Holly Holm, who's, a veteran in the boxing world and achieved such great things in MMA and still achieving great things. So to have her as a training partner is phenomenal. Helping Clarissa with her, transition from boxing to MMA. Like she's such a high level elite athlete. Her mindset's just next level in itself. But and all the guys on the mats too. Like there is a really good range of featherweight and lightweight guys for me to train with. So yeah, for me, I think it's the best place. Like there's just so much knowledge on that mat with training partners from all around the world, and coaches who have been there. They've like that. When you look around the gym and see the photos of the people that they've trained, like it's no secret, the champions that have come out of JacksonWink and the people that have gone and done camps there, they've been there and seen it all. So when Mr. Jackson says something to me, I look at him and I believe what he says because there's no reason for him to sit there and tell me something that isn't true or tell me I'm going better than what I am, because he doesn't get anything out of that. But so if he tells me that I'm doing really good, I will believe him and I'll put my faith in that he thinks that. So yeah, I feel like I said, the growth of me the last 6 months is I feel it, they see it, and I'm just excited to showcase it now.
Yep. And how do you feel the sort of the standard of training differs over there from what you would get back here in Australia?
It's not, don't get me wrong, and I've made this very, very clear with, a lot of interviews that I do. For me, I'm just moving to one of the Bellator officials over there. For me, I've had great camps. My Cyborg Fight camp that I spent with Alex Volkanovski in his camp down at Windang, like that, Joe, what he does, what that team does, like they're workhorses. Like there's no, I could very well spend a full-time camp there too. And other gyms that I train at, like my jiu-jitsu gym, Sydney West Martial Arts, Luke has a very, very thorough jiu-jitsu program that he runs, and the striking, everything like that. But for me personally, like being over here in America just means that I step away from all the other roles that I step away from as a mother, my job, this and that. Like I've literally been able to be a full-time athlete while I've been here. In Albuquerque, not here, so I'm in Miami at the moment, but when I was in Albuquerque. But to be honest, I think also too, like with the coaches at JacksonWink, they've seen obviously where my strengths are. They've helped me where my weaknesses are, and they've kind of like, I guess it's like I've always had the pieces to the puzzle, maybe minus a few pieces, and they've kind of put it all together. I feel like I'm the complete package. Now, obviously, I've still got a lot to learn. It's martial arts. You should always be learning and evolving, but I think I've put the pieces of the puzzle together, and now it's just time to present it.
Yeah. And you mentioned Claressa Shields there early on. What have you made of her performances so far, and how far do you think she can go in MMA, having shared the training room with her?
Definitely. Well, I was a part of her first fight camp and her second fight camp, and the progression that she made from her first and second was through the roof. Even I understand you know, obviously coming from the background too, I was a boxer and having to learn, you know, all the grappling and the ground game and everything like that. So, you know, I think that she made massive improvements. And this is the thing, her fights are on the world stage. Like, it's everyone could criticize her fights, but I mean, I had my first 9 fights on small local shows in Australia where, you know, only local MMA fans were sort of watching it, whereas she's got the whole world ready to criticize her, and that's a lot of extra pressure, and she deals with that like a champion. Obviously, you don't win 2 gold medals at the Olympics back to back without knowing how to her mindset, her confidence. She's got a very good work ethic, and you know, and she puts trust and belief in her coaches too. So you know, as I do as well. Like, you know, we don't pack ourselves up and move to Albuquerque in the middle of nowhere, you know, unless we had faith in the coaches. So yeah, I think she'll go far. And she understands it's not something that she's going to learn overnight like it is. And as I've said to her too, it's about time on the mats, and something that it took me a few years into MMA to realize that, whereas I feel like she's skipping all of those mistakes early on. She's getting the, you know, the good training first up. She's you know, soaking in as much information from people around her that have been there and experienced it, whereas I feel like I kind of made some mistakes early on that I could have saved if I just had, you know, the right people around me and this and that. So yeah, I think she'll go far.
All right. And for you personally, your last fight was against Diana Silva in July. How do you reflect on that performance? And did you feel you sort of got to show the fruits of your labor over in Albuquerque in that one?
Some parts definitely. Like, I mean, I sat in the pocket and was not fazed by anything that she threw at me. But yeah, I remember fight day, Mr. Jackson had asked me just to step things up and really push the pace and go for it. And I didn't. I kind of felt like I was in first gear and just sort of cruise, because it was all that I had to do in there. But I feel like you know, if I had stepped it up, I probably could have finished the fight in the first round. But in hindsight, I guess, like, yeah, I got the finish in the third. So, and they were happy with the performance. So this time I'd like to, yeah, maybe push the pace if that's what he asked me to do. If he doesn't, then I want to respond to what they ask of me from the fight.
Yep, and as mentioned off the top, the opponent this weekend is Pam Sorensen. How do you feel you match up with her?
I feel like in with the fight camp that I've had, with me saying that I want to showcase, you know, the well-rounded fighter that I am, I think that she's the perfect opponent. You know, she did come from a Muay Thai background, but I mean, if you do video analysis, which we have done a lot of video analysis of her, you know, she likes to wrestle and take her opponents to the ground and this and that. So, I mean, she's a perfect opponent to showcase MMA. So yeah, you know, if she wants to stand with me, that would be great. But if she wants to wrestle with me, then you know, I've got all the answers. So yeah, I think it'll be yeah, a good fight for me to, you know, really show things. But as I said in the interview today, knowing me, I'll probably end up throwing a right hand and it'll just be a standing fight, and I won't showcase anything. But yeah, so wherever the fight goes, I'll be ready.
Yep, and yeah, as you mentioned earlier, I'm sure you'll have a close eye on the main event, which is Cris Cyborg versus Sinead Cavanaugh. Yeah, what's your prediction for that one?
Obviously, they're both former opponents of mine. Sinead and I had a 3-round boxing fight in MMA gloves, pretty much, when we met inside the Bellator cage. So yeah, she's got some heavy hands on her. So yeah, if her punches land, they can do some damage. I personally think Cris is like definitely a more well-rounded fighter, but I mean, it's an MMA fight, and you know, Sinead comes from a very respectable gym with a very respectable coach, and yeah, obviously she's been training and working hard. She's in phenomenal looking shape, so she's been, you know, jumping up and down for this fight. So I'm sure she's ready for wherever it goes, and I'm just excited that, you know, I'm going to have some time after my fight to be able to get back out there and sit down and watch, because yeah, whatever happens in that fight, it's very, very important for like what happens in like for my next steps. You know, I'll either be fighting Cris or I could be fighting Sinead. I just hope that both girls just fight down on their mouth guards and it's a good slugfest and it's a good fight for the crowd to watch. I think they deserve that.
Absolutely, and assuming, of course, that you're successful in your fight, yeah, you'll be calling for the winner, I'm guessing.
Oh, definitely. yeah, either girl. But yeah, obviously I definitely want that rematch with Cris. That would be great. Definitely unfinished business there. But yeah, this, I'll win on Friday night, and I'm just going to enjoy that and worry about who my next opponent is, whoever it may be.
Do you get any indications from the Bellator brass that a win would sort of put you back in a title fight, or is it just are you just going to be calling for the winner?
There were a couple of comments made last fight, saying that they'd like to see me fight Cris with a full fight camp at JacksonWink with the coaches. They think that my performance might have been a little bit hindered training under COVID restrictions and this and that back in Australia. Because yeah, it was a bit of a broken camp. It was a long camp. Fight days were moved. Obviously last year, everything was up in the air because of COVID. And so it kind of just messed up plans. I was originally meant to go to JacksonWink for that fight camp. So yeah, hopefully, yeah, a good win is enough. But like I said in other interviews, I'm not one to jump up and down and demand things. I'm a big believer in things happening at the right time when things are meant to. So I'll just, yeah, I like to fight. So whoever's willing to fight me, I'll fight. And if it's Cris, I'll fight Cris.
Absolutely. And in the longer term, do you sort of put a time scale on your career, or is there sort of an end game that you're working towards, or what's the sort of overall goal in MMA?
This is getting asked to me more and more. I was like, oh, yeah, no, to be honest, yeah, while the fire is still burning and I'm still learning, and my mind's still sharp and I'm not copping damage and my body's holding up, yeah, I'm just going to keep fighting. I've got a few things on the personal side of things that I want to do as well. So but yeah, no, I'm not putting an end game on it. My partner and my family support what I do, and yeah, like I said, I'm not copping any damage, or I'm not like I won my last fight. Obviously I didn't win my Cyborg fight, but it's not yeah. And I think after the light heavyweight fighter Glover winning at 42 years old, becoming the UFC champion, that just actually made me really happy, because yeah, I'm not even in my 40s yet. I got a fair few years in me. But yeah, honestly, while the passion's still there and I'm still loving what I do, which I very much do, I'll keep going.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you? And I guess like you sort of mentioned, the Glover Teixeira title win there, I think that'll probably inspire a whole new generation of 40-plus-year-old fighters as well, won't it?
For sure, yeah.
All right. Before I let you go, do you have any sponsors or anyone you'd like to shout out? I'll hand the reins over to you.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I've got a lot of sponsors, and this always makes me think, oh, I hope I don't miss anyone, but I won't. So long-term sponsors: AH Class Fencing, Muscle Bros, Snatch Activewear. We've got 3 Kings Finance, Gamecoin, Resolute TV, Chatter Paint. All of my recovery team sponsors, clothing sponsors, nutritionists, supplements, everything. I appreciate all you guys. And while I'm here, a quick shout out to my kids, Kayla and Kian.
Perfect. Well, Arlene, thank you so much for stopping by. All the best at Bellator 271, and enjoy some family time afterwards.
I will. Thank you very much.